From the KATC Weather Lab, here's Rob's forecast.
Well, the forecast over the next week is just going to be Harvey, Harvey, Harvey. At least in the near term, scattered showers and thunder showers in the afternoon hours. Not much of a change in our weather forecast locally until after Friday. Then this weekend, going into early next week, things could go downhill, but a lot of question marks. We'll try to answer the best we can on what question marks are most important to us. So as we take a look at what's going on right now across Acadiana, still scattered storms. Western Louisiana, extreme southeastern Louisiana, with a broad upper level low that is pretty much over Acadiana right now, but we're kind of in the center of the system. So around the periphery, showers and storms. They are weakening, though, across Allen Parish. Still some hefty activity in the portions of western portions of Jeff Davis, from the central and western portions. Some locally heavy downpours, cloud to ground lightning. No issues, though, just typical summer storms, and a lot of that also into Calcasieu Parish, with activity a little bit more scattered in nature as we get into Cameron. This all associated with that aforementioned upper level low that is getting squeezed down. It was circular yesterday and the day before. Now it's more like an elongated upper trough, and this is eventually going to diminish and scoot off to the north and east and open up the door for some of that tropical moisture to continue to moving north that we see in the central Gulf of Mexico. Not directly associated with Harvey, but it's big moisture envelope that continues all the way down through the Yucatan and into even the eastern Caribbean, westernmost Caribbean. So that's what we're going to deal with. This is Harvey. This is moisture away from Harvey. That's still going to be heading for Louisiana. So rain chances gradually going up as we get into the weekend and beyond, and the threat of some locally heavy rainfall. But the worst of it may not get here until Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week, and that is up in the air as well. So as we zoom in onto the storm, the actual center of circulation is southwest of the big convection. So this is a disorganized system, thus still a tropical depression late this afternoon. It was upgraded earlier today, but we do expect it to become a storm later on tonight through tomorrow morning, and then be heading for the Texas coast. We'll stop at Friday early afternoon. And by the way, underneath the forecast track, I have the tropical models. You can see the lines right there. We'll talk more about that in just a bit. So this system approaching the Texas coast Friday, perhaps as a hurricane, maybe reaching Category 1 status, could be even a little bit stronger. That's where hurricane watches posted, tropical storm watches south and north of there. Also storm surge watches along the coast, but none for Louisiana at this time, but that will likely change. I would expect a tropical storm watch, maybe a warning down the line, and perhaps a storm surge warning as well as we get closer to the weekend, but not right now. Then the system moves inland, and this is where it becomes nearly stationary as we notice the forecast track envelope begins to get circular and larger. That's because some of the tropical models turn the system back down to the south as high pressure to the north builds. We also have high pressure off to the east that's weaker. So at this point, we think it stays nearly stationary, then begins to drift eastward Monday into Tuesday of next week. But outside of this cone, we're going to see tropical showers and thunder showers developing this weekend, and then getting more concentrated as we go into early next week. And the rainfall is going to be the main threat. Obviously a wind threat across Texas. This is a European model, which is actually farther south than the official forecast track, but gives us a broad idea of a stalling system in Texas. And then the European model brings the system back out over open water and re-intensifies this to possibly a hurricane. So even though that's not the most probable outcome, we have to prepare for the possibility of tropical storm conditions for sure, maybe even a hurricane, and certainly a surge and a heavy rain threat as well going into next week. But a lot can change, especially if that storm takes a southward turn. So we'll hope and pray for that. As for rainfall, the rains are going to be really tallying up as we get into the weekend across the Texas Hill Country and the coastal bend. Areas in white are 20 to 25 inches of rain, so that is certainly a possibility. Rainfall is going to be heavy moving into Louisiana, perhaps a foot or more in spots, and that's delineated in the Harvey impacts. This is posted online and also on our social media pages. A lot of information, but storm surge and flooding rains, main threat, maybe wind damage down the road, perhaps isolated tornadoes, and the threats will be highest starting Monday and continuing Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. A lot of information there. Near term, relatively quiet tonight after the showers diminish this evening. Tomorrow we'll see partly sunny skies, hot and humid weather, and then a pretty good scattering of storms tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow evening before things quiet down. So evening showers and storms decreasing. Clouds also decrease later on tonight. We'll go 75 for your low tomorrow, 93 the projected high. It will be hot and humid before the scattered storms in the afternoon and early evening. 60% tomorrow. I think we see rain chances go down a little bit for Friday, and then a gradual increase on the threat of tropical rains and the threat of locally heavy rainfall developing into next week, and perhaps something more depending on the ultimate track of Harvey. But this is based on the National Hurricane Center guidance and also the European model, so we won't be out of the woods probably until late Wednesday before the system is out. So that's a full week. Yes.
All right, thanks, Rob. Still to come on KATC.